Air India. For decades, that name probably brought one thing to mind: the iconic Maharaja, a symbol of Indian hospitality. But let's be real, in today's super competitive skies, a legacy alone just isn't enough to keep you flying high. So what we're looking at here is the story of a massive, really ambitious, and incredibly complex transformation. Let's get into how they're trying to pull it off.
Now, this isn't just some clever marketing slogan. Nope. This is a mission statement. Ever since the Tata Group took over back in 2022, Air India has been on a quest to completely change how we see them. The goal? To be modern, to be reliable, and to be a real player on the global stage, all while holding on to that special identity as India's flagship airline.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you take a brand that's so steeped in history, with all the amazing nostalgia, but also, let's face it, all the baggage that comes with it, and completely reinvent it for a new generation of travelers? That's the challenge we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so where did all this begin? Well, it all kicked off with a huge monumental shift in ownership, which then started the ball rolling on a complete strategic overhaul.
The big catalyst was that 2022 acquisition by the Tata Group. That one event set off this whole chain reaction. First, a total brand repositioning was launched in 2023, and now we're seeing this massive, ongoing modernization of the entire fleet. And I want to be clear, this is not just a fresh coat of paint. This is a ground-up rebuild.
So here's what's really fascinating about their strategy. They aren't trying to just erase the past. Not at all. Instead, they're trying to pull off a very, very delicate balancing act.
You've got the heritage on one side. They're totally leaning into the nostalgia, that sense of national pride, and the airline's iconic history. But then, on the other side, you have the modern, and here the focus is squarely on being a global competitor, creating a genuinely elevated travel experience, and making sure every single digital touchpoint is just seamless. It's really all about pairing that rich history with high tech. So who are they trying to win over with this new playbook? Well, they're casting a pretty wide net. They're absolutely targeting premium business travelers with better cabins, but they're also focused on the huge international Indian diaspora. And that's a strategically vital group, right? A natural customer base that sees the airline as a direct link home. Of course, they're also going after leisure travelers with competitive prices and rewarding their loyal flyers to make sure they stick around.
All right, so we know the strategy and who they're aiming for, but how does any of this actually translate into what you and I experience when we fly? Well, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty, the practical side of this whole transformation.
When you strip it all down, it really boils down to these three core pillars. First, a tangible, upgraded product, the stuff you can see and touch. Second, a much higher level of human service. And third, a seamless technology experience that ties the whole journey together.
Let's dig into that product pillar first. We are talking about huge investments. Brand new planes are joining the fleet, and the planes they already have are getting completely refurbished cabins. This means better seats, way better in-flight entertainment, and a food menu that's designed to compete with the very best. These are the physical upgrades you can actually see and feel.
But look, shiny new planes are only half the story. The service and technology pieces are just as crucial. You've got staff, from the cabin crew to the folks on the ground, being retrained to meet global hospitality standards. And at the same time, technology is being woven into absolutely everything. We're talking AI-powered apps and chatbots to make service smoother, and using data to actually personalize the travel experience. The idea is that all of these efforts have to work together, in concert. The end goal is to create one single, cohesive, positive, and modern journey for every passenger, right from the moment you think about booking a flight to the second you grab your bags at the other end.
Okay, this all sounds fantastic in theory, but the airline industry is, notoriously tough. Air India has some really powerful advantages on its side, but it is also flying directly into some pretty serious headwinds.
So first, let's talk strengths. Being part of the Tata Group, that gives them incredible access to synergies in both technology and hospitality. Their membership in the Star Alliance gives them a massive global network right out of the gate. Their new digital apps are already getting great ratings, and of course, that ability to tap into cultural pride gives them a branding tool that's incredibly powerful, especially at home.
But here's the first major hurdle. Old reputations die hard. And despite all the fantastic changes, the public perception of inconsistent service and unreliability still lingers. Changing that, it takes more than just good marketing. It takes flawless execution day in and out over a very long period of time.
And then you've got the competition, which is just intense. On one side, you have these incredibly efficient low-cost carriers, which forces Air India to constantly justify its premium pricing.
And on the other side, you have the ultra-luxurious Gulf carriers, forcing Air India to try and match their crazy high standards of service and comfort. They are truly caught right in the middle.
And all of this brings us to what is maybe the single biggest risk of them all. A beautiful ad campaign or a slick new app means absolutely nothing if your flight is delayed, the cabin isn't clean, or the service is just off. Any gap, any inconsistency between the brand promise and the actual experience a customer has can seriously, seriously damage credibility.
So, with all these strengths and all these challenges on the table, what does the future actually hold? Where can Air India go from here to really solidify this comeback?
Well, the strategic opportunities are pretty clear. They can supercharge their loyalty program to build deeper relationships with customers. They can use AI to deliver hyper-personalized offers and experiences. Think about high-visibility global sponsorships that could elevate their brand on the world stage. And promoting their sustainability efforts could really appeal to a new generation of more conscious travelers.
And that leaves us right here with the ultimate question. The vision is bold, there's no doubt about that. The investment is massive, and the strategy's in place. Air India is rebuilding its brand from the inside out. But in the unforgiving world of aviation, the real test, the only test that matters, is always in the execution. So, will the reality of flying Air India finally match its grand ambition? Only time will tell.